because you never know who can be your next, maybe spouse, who can be your next best friend. So, a little rundown about me. I was born and raised in Miami. I have two beautiful little boys, Jacob and Noah. And, well, we decided to start this. Well, Darlene, hold on one second. Let me not jump in there. You tell me a little bit about yourself, or tell them a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I am Puerto Rican, born and raised. I lived in Miami, LA, now back in Miami, happily married with a Colombian. Just like
So
Monica,
am I.
we both are. And yes, so I love my family, love going to the beach, love to dance, love to talk, love to meet new people.
We love to talk. That's why we did this podcast. Absolutely.
And so my daughter is 3.5, and your kids are
4. One's going to be 5. Well, he's going to be 5. And then I have a 2-year-old.
And that's how we met. We met a day like today on Valentine's Day. That's why we're doing our first ever podcast on Valentine's Day.
Ooh, love.
Have a great day, everybody over there. All celebrate this day with your friends, loved ones, family. Valentine's Day, it's so much more than just about,
A relationship between two lovers, let's say. It's about friendship, about family, about kids. So that's why we started our podcast, or we're today doing our podcast on February 14th, because it's a 1-year anniversary of friendship, which our kids brought us together. Maybe you want to tell them a little bit of how that came about?
Yes, we were at a restaurant, which I never go there, and I believe you never go there either.
I don't.
And it just happened. We were sitting in one of these like booths, and you were on the other side, and then you know when your kids just start talking to the table next to you. Hey, you never know, because from there we just exchanged info, and it was the cutest thing because since it was Valentine's, they were both dressed like in hearts.
Hearts, so cute.
I know,
So cute.
so. Yeah, my daughter had her first date on Valentine's Day.
Oh my, and it was literally a date. I mean, literally a date. These kids were like hugging each other by the end of our lunch, basically. And Darlene and I exchanged numbers. Darlene asked me for my number, and I willingly complied, and I gave it to her for a play date. And it's been 1 year since then.
Yes, I mean it's hard. Like we had just moved here from LA. And I didn't have friends that have, kids in their like 3-4 years old. Most of my friends have kids that are older. And this is going to be another episode. We're going to talk about parenting in your 40s because that's where we're at. I am 45. I'm really open about my age.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to be 42.
You feel free to say it or not. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to be 42. So we're parenting in our 40s.
In our 40s and proud of it. So it was just hard meeting other parents that I could get along with that have kids with similar ages. So when this happens, kind of like serendipity. I know you love that word.
I do love that word. It was a very serendipitous, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, moment, to be honest with you.
Serendipity. I'm not even going to try.
I tried. I don't think I pronounced it right, but it's okay. But yeah, it was a good moment.
Yes, it was great. And then also the fact that we're both married to two Colombians, and they love soccer, and now they play soccer together.
Yeah,
which it's really exciting. So through the kids, we met, and then through our hobbies and all the things that we have in common, then it's become a friendship. This is so adorable.
It's 1 year, 1 year. But what happens? Okay, I've had this conversation with Darlene because that's not what happens all the time, right?
No.
Absolutely not. Like sometimes you meet somebody and either the conversation is awkward or you don't have anything in common. Like the energy just does not vibe together, I want to say. Like things don't flow. And you and I just hit it off from the get-go.
Yes.
Even your mom had a great energy on her. So I was like, oh, wow, these are like my kind of people. So it was nice. But that doesn't always happen, right?
No. I mean, it's hard when your kid loves this other kid and then you go to that other kid's birthday and then you realize that none of the parents, it happened to me recently, like nobody was talking to me.
Yeah.
Like,
you feel like the oddball. Yeah.
I'm like, come on. I don't know. It was just, so I'm like, you know what? Keep playing with her in school.
I know it sucks though, but no, but we've talked about this in more like depth. And when certain things like that happen, like what in your case, you know what I mean? Like when you meet somebody that maybe the conversation is kind of off, like it's another mom or something. You met her at the playground now, your kids are playing, yet you guys are standing next to each other and there is no, like there's just like an awkwardness, that awkward silence that can happen in anything. Like what do you
And
do?
then, no, you know what's happened to me that, I like to have actually, we're having, in case you're not
Yes.
on YouTube right now looking at us, you don't know what you're missing out.
Yeah.
No, for those of you listening, we are having a glass of Prosecco.
Yes.
So, no, it's happened that I'm like, I'll say something like, oh, man, it's so hot. Like, I can't wait to just go and grab a beer. I'll tell one of the moms because we've been in this playground for hours. And they look at me like I said something wrong. And I'm like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
my type of mom.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you get people that do not have the same interest, but it's being that said because so that happens, right? And you don't feel that energy with that person, let's say, and you feel like it's kind of like standoffish. But now your kids, they loved playing together, and you saw your kids super super happy. You're like, wow, like they really enjoyed that other kid's company. But yet now this kid's parent, me and her, or him and I, or whatever, we just don't vibe.
Yeah.
But you want to make your kid happy, so you do another play date, right? Do you continue to do another play date, or like what, or you just stop it there altogether and like, okay, bye?
I've been pretty fortunate that the kids that she likes, I get along with the parents like you. But then you can just say, hey, drop them off. Or like, not, if they're going to come to your house and they're just going to sit there and judge you and not, if there's no click, you don't want them in your house, so do the play dates elsewhere. And you know what? The same thing happens with, let's say your husband comes and he says, oh, I'm going to invite my friend, whatever, Hector. By the way, this is no real name.
Yeah, this is
I'm going to bring Hector
fiction.
and his wife or girlfriend or whatever over for dinner. And it's like, great. And then you don't click with the wife. Or the kids are, completely insane. And you're like, oh
my God, please don't bring him back to my house.
no. or you don't click with that person's spouse. I mean, it is what it is. And I just feel like, try to find something in common. And if not, then it's not the end of the world. Just,
And no, and
always be busy when they want to make plans.
Us as humans, we tend to be kind of judgmental, right? Like when we meet somebody, I'm a person that I go off of vibes. So if the first vibe is kind of like standoffish, or it's kind of like it's just not flowing, I'm like, I probably won't ever make the effort again to maybe ask for that person's number, to do a play date, or because there's just nothing there. But that's kind of selfish, I want to say is the word, because sometimes that person, maybe at that moment, they could have been having just like, maybe their energy was off, and maybe they are great people, and maybe you will hit it off if you do that second play date or that second meeting or that third, you know what I mean? And then you start to get to know them. They might not be off the get-go your type of person, at least what you think, but then they do end up being like somebody that you feel like cool. I think you mentioned this, that you had a friend or somebody.
Absolutely. And since it's Valentine's Day and we're talking about relationships, that's one thing that we should, also learn, the whole preconceived notions of, you're or judging somebody saying, oh, this person is like this or it's like that. You don't know if what was going on. You don't know if that person just lost his job, a relative, or is just having a really shitty day when you don't want to talk to anybody. You just want to like put your PJs, put a hat, go to the store, buy ice cream and popcorn. You don't want to run into anybody in the supermarket. So it's about that. And then also understanding, that you're not going to like everybody. And then there's people that you are going to love, and there's going to be things about that person that you don't like. But it's your choice if you want to hang out
Again
around these people or not.
I think about it, like me, myself, I could personally speak for myself. I know I've met people and then I'm like, because at the beginning, it's not that what happened with us. Like at the beginning, it was like a good energy. It was flowing. Who knows? Maybe you would have been in a bad mood that day. Maybe that would have never happened. But that day you were in a good mood. I was in a good mood. Our kids were playing and everything just vibed well. And it's a year later and everything has been good. But I wonder, I've met so many people and I have never continued the friendship, or I have never made that extra effort because at the moment I was like, why? And who knows how many people, this be in whether it's another friend or it's, let's say you're single and it's somebody that you met and, maybe the first encounter was, and you didn't give a chance because you're like, oh my God, that guy or that girl or whatever. But then who knows? Maybe if you would have given it that second, I'm a person that's like 3 times, right?
Okay.
It's like the third time is like
charm,
it is a charm, or it's the deal breaker. Like you just know. But I also don't follow that rule all the time, right? So like how many people get away from your life, whether that be a good friendship, whether that be a good relationship, that you just said, screw it. I don't feel like even like attempting to progress with this any further because I don't feel that like chemistry.
Yes.
And they could have ended up being a good significant other, a good significant like friend in your life.
And sometimes these are the people that 10 years later you run into them and wherever. I keep using I go to the supermarket a lot.
We both do.
In the supermarket and suddenly it's like, oh my God, I haven't seen you forever. Like, give me your number. Let's hang out. And then beautiful things can happen. The example that you were referring to earlier, in college, she was one of my good friends. She told me, oh man, I hated you that first day. She hated, and I'm like, why? And she said, because you would always like come in the last minute, sit in the front, ask questions, and you were always like taking notes without your book. And I'm like, seriously? You hated me for running late, which, sorry. I like to sit in the front because my attention span, it's horrible. So if I sit in the back, I'd be like, oh, I like her hair. Oh, I wonder where. Like
your mind goes off.
I like the girl's shirt from. Oh, I love the back part. It's so pretty. Like my mind goes elsewhere. I have to be like when I go to church. I like to be in the front.
In the front.
And then I'm not. When I was studying, I rather study from my notes than from textbook. So, and I said, really? You hated me for that? And she said, it was just something about you. Obviously, later we became really good friends. But it always stuck with me. I'm like, that's crazy because we do that.
And how many, wait, hold on.
We do that.
How many years of friendship do you have with her?
Oh my goodness. So we're talking about, it's 2023. So this was oh my God, when did oh shoot. 1995.
Oh my God. Okay, so we are in 2003. Oh my God. Wait. Oh my God. We are in 2023. Yes. So imagine that. So imagine that girl, let's just say this friend of yours, which I don't personally know, but I know the story, could have been easy like, I'm not even going to be friends with her. I'm not even going to talk to her. And she would have missed out on how many years of a good friendship.
Yes. And not only that, it's like the moment that you have negative thoughts about somebody, especially somebody that you're going to see like at work all the time or at school, the moment that happens, that person is already taking so much energy from you. And it's why. Like when they say you don't hold a grudge on somebody, because at the end of the day, it's not going to affect them. Yeah. It's going to affect you because you're going to see that person and your body is going to react to it. You're going to be like irritated, tense.
Yeah, tense.
So fuck it. Yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah.
So,
well, that was, I mean, that's something, we're bringing this up because it is Valentine's Day. And again, it's not for just lovers. This is also for friendship, for family. And so cheers. I want to say, wait, before you just took that sip, or you're going to take another one with me. Cheers to making new friendships, meeting new people, and being open-minded, even if you don't want to, because I go through that. Even if you don't want to, make that extra effort. I know today's Valentine's Day. It doesn't have to be Valentine's Day. It could be something you think about every day when you wake up in the morning and you meet somebody, to smile, because you never know who can be your next maybe spouse, who can be your next best friend.
Yes.
You know, so.
I know. And look, a year later, we're starting a podcast and drinking a nice glass of Prosecco.
I'm taking a sip.
Okay, but, oh wait, I didn't take the sip. I wonder where that whole thing comes from. You have to use your left, which I didn't use right now.
I use my right.
And you have to look at each other in the eye, because if not, it's 7 years of bad sex?
Oh my God! Well, you and I are that's not the case.
I've heard about that.
That's with you and Fabian. That's not you and I. Okay, that's definitely not you and I.
Hey, but talking about sex. And
Yes.
Fabian is my husband, by the way. And he's actually here helping us.
Yes. Yes. He's our behind the
He's hiding.
scenes guy.
So, how did you meet Benjamin? Now that we're talking about, let's take a moment and do talk about our love life.
Partners. So I met Benjamin actually working. I met him working. It's a long story. I don't want to go into the exact details of it, but we met working. I became friends with his sister. He's younger than me. I thought I remember he's 5 years younger than I am. And I remember thinking, oh, he's a cute kid, but I never thought anything past that. I thought he was attractive.
That's a good start.
Yeah, that's a good start. Thought he was cute, attractive, but whatever. I didn't think anything else outside of that. And then with time, being with his sister, being friends with his sister, and then going we
So
started
you were
going
friends
out.
with his sister before meeting him?
No, I met both of them at the same time.
Oh, at the same time.
At the same time. So I met both of them at the same time, but his sister and I are the ones that started hanging out and so on. And then through that,
That's great. You already have that one checked.
Correct.
Sister.
Correct.
Approved.
Throughout time, we just kind of we hit it off.
By the way, when we introduced ourselves, we didn't tell people what we do. We talked about family and kids. You see how it is? We talk. Tell me something about you. I'm a mom. I have a kid.
Yeah.
I'm married.
We have so much more than that. But yeah, it's the first time.
Okay, so let's tell our listeners what you do.
So what do I do? So I have been in sales for a very long time. So it's going to be, I started in real estate sales, working here in Miami for developers, selling condo conversions. And then when the market hit, or crashed, back in 2008, I reinvented myself and I started doing more sales and design actually in interiors. So I've been doing that probably for about 15 years already. So that's what I've been in, everything from space planning to decorating and
she has a beautiful home.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful home. Yes.
And you, Darlene?
Okay, so I'm an actress, producer. My husband and I, we have our own video production company called Sevilla Group Studio, and thanks to them, we're
here.
He's actually a singer-songwriter too. So we'll talk about our hobbies some other day.
Yes.
But so that's what I do. I love writing, and I used to write a lot of blogs. And I would say about 9 years ago was the last one. And I kind of, I got busy. I mean, it's a bad excuse. I got busy with life. But I just stopped writing. And just recently, I opened the blog where I used to write. And it said, make your blog a podcast. And I remember texting Monica and being like, hey, let's do a podcast. And and she's like, sure. Here we are. And then it was okay, let's do a video too. And through our company, we're perfect because we have all the equipment and here we are. I met my husband through MySpace.
Wow.
So
we're old.
I don't. If you're listening and you don't know what MySpace is, ask your parents. No, it came right before Facebook.
Yeah, but it was a long time ago, and it mostly started for musicians.
Exactly, and that's why. And that's the thing. I remember I was in LA and I saw my husband's music, and
it was love at first sight.
No, it wasn't love at first sight. I mean, I was also doing PR for different bands, and so I appreciated good music, and he's amazing. So I sent him a message, and it was like, hey, and we had friends in common. Shoot, I wish MySpace would give me those inbox messages back.
I know. I lost so much stuff.
Because those were our first, ways of communicating through MySpace. So what about you? How, at that time, was it a lot of texting or?
No. It was MySpace. What do you mean? With
Ben? No, with you and Benjamin, yes.
No, MySpace and stuff like that. So it's same as you, kind of, MySpace. And again, we kind of hit it off because I had his sister as our, kind of our she's my friend. So we just hit it off, and I don't know, just from meeting each other and going out and all that.
It's a serendipitous.
No, not as serendipitous as our meeting, but yeah, you know what I mean? We met through a mutual person, obviously in common, his sister. So yeah. That's basically
Those
now.
are our
You know,
love stories.
Fabian is gonna once we finish this, he's gonna say, "Oh, what do you mean it wasn't love at first sight, Darlene?" He's gonna say, "Oh, I now he's that's gonna stay there
No.
like forever."
No, let me tell you why. Because we met right on MySpace. And then, I remember being the one telling him, "Oh, there's a new page. It's called Facebook." He's like, "Oh, how do we open it?" And then we just became, this was probably in 2006, and we didn't start dating till 2013.
Okay.
Then, so the way we say it is, we met on MySpace. We kept in touch through Facebook. I remember I was in LA, he was here in Miami, and he would send me a messenger message like, "Hey, how are you?" And he had his relationship, I had my relationship, and then, this is gonna sound weird, but through Twitter, we kind of like, I don't know, like linked up again. Like he sent something, a promo of where he was gonna be playing, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm here in Miami. I'll come and check you out." And yeah,
And from there it
and
started.
here we are. So it wasn't love at first sight. Actually, funny story. One time I told him, I'm done with the whole dating around, and I want to like be in a serious relationship. And we were at this condo, a group of friends, and he looks at his watch and he's like, "Oh, it's getting late here. I gotta go." He grabs his guys. They were like playing guitar. "Okay, let's go." I'm like, "Oh, wow." I said, "I want a serious relationship," and that guy is already leaving the parking lot.
He was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna avoid this conversation."
He wasn't ready. And
Yeah.
in life, it's about that. Like, it's about, so many things can happen. Time is important. Like, you could be not into somebody, and then a year from today,
Things
like
change.
it's just things change. It wasn't his time. He wasn't ready to be in a serious relationship or anything like that. And yeah, luckily when he was ready, I was still available.
Yeah. And then now you have a beautiful little girl.
Yes. We're gonna have like this section. We're gonna try to do this in the episodes where it's like kind of like the find of the day, find of the week, something that we want to recommend.
Maybe
for-
related to what we're talking
Yes,
about, right?
yes. Like, something, a product that we love on Amazon and we want to share with you. And so today I was thinking, for our anniversary, I got him, and this is something that you can give to your friend, to your mom. I got him like this vinyl record with lyrics of the song that our first dance for a
Your
wedding,
wedding.
which was Gavin DeGraw, the song here. Where you are. Oh my God, I completely forgot where you are. So, and he has it up in his studio, and for me, since we're talking about relationships and all this, I think this is a beautiful gift. Obviously, it's Valentine's Day, so you're a little bit late, but maybe for a birthday, for Mother's Day, for anniversary, for next year. And there's a page. I'm gonna put it on our Instagram. I'm gonna post a picture of what I got him. You can do like your favorite song or a song that's very special for you and your mom. And so that's my
And cool
my
on a
find of
vinyl
the day.
vinyl record, which is like, that's a cool, like, I don't know, it's just cool. Like, who sees
Yes.
vinyl records anymore,
Yes.
Unless you collect them or whatever.
Yeah, and this record it comes with the lyrics, and you just put it up on a wall. And
Nice.
I don't know. So that was my find.
Well, I don't have any finds. I can't think of anything. And I have something in my mind of stuff that could be cute to do. Like there's like this, but I don't know the name. So I would probably have to put it again, like we put it in
Yes.
our Instagram or
We're
on the
gonna
YouTube.
whatever we talk about, we're gonna send it out there, because I've listened to podcasts and it's like, oh my God, they're talking about something and they don't tell me how to get it.
No, I know
so
what it
we
is.
will do this.
Hold on, it's a book, all right? But I have to find out what the company name is. Obviously, we're not affiliated to any of these companies. We're just throwing it out there as to what we like. And it's a book. You could have it for family, but you could also have it for your lover, for your partner, which is a book. It's a picture book, and you do challenges. So the couples book, I actually have it. It's fun. I'm not going to say I've done all of it because I'm very inconsistent with these things. But when we've done it, it's been fun. It's a book that gives you, like, you scratch off like a scratch-off game,
Uh-huh.
and it tells you something to do. So it could be like take your partner outside and go dance in the, outside in like underwear if you want to, in your house, obviously.
like that.
But it keeps things spicy,
Of
and it's a
course.
matter of obviously following through with it. But it has one for family and it has one for lovers, for partners. So
See?
we'll
That's-
find the name and we'll put it on there.
Yes, these are great because sometimes it's like you get tired of let me get him socks and
Correct.
the tie and the cologne. I know.
Cologne, that's like the big one.
So yeah, anyway, so we're gonna go now. We want to leave you
Yes.
with this challenge. What's the challenge for our listeners?
Okay, the challenge, okay, at least try, maybe for one day, because I know people fall off the wagon sometimes, but for one day, be open-minded. You never know who you're going to meet, whether you go to the grocery store, whether you're going to work and you meet a client, whether, I don't know, you're pumping gas and somebody smiles at you. Obviously, if they're creepy,
Smiles.
but if they're creepy, no. Like, if you get a weird, creepy vibe, no. But,
Like this. Well,
or like you're like at nighttime, it's like 1 a.m, you're putting gas and there's this weird guy next to you. I might not smile at him at that time, but you know what I mean? Like, be nice, be
smile
open.
at a stranger. I like that.
Open energy, and you never know who you're going to meet. Just, no preconceived notions. At least try not to have preconceived notions.
I like that. So let's remember, smile at somebody this
Yes.
week. Every
Yes.
day. Do it every day.
Smile.
So our Instagram is mamas.playground. We are also on YouTube, Mama's Playground. So you can see us.
Follow us.
Yes, follow us. And then, I wanted this to be very interactive. I want to get people's ideas on, can you do a show about this? We want to bring in professionals to not only teach you guys of things that you might want to learn,
And
but
teach
for
us. Yeah,
teach
yeah.
us. Like that,
We're in
that's
a
the whole
learning.
thing. We're not professionals, we're not health experts, but we will bring people that can teach us and our listeners about certain topics. So if you have anything you want, just feel free. Give us examples of gifts for Mother's Day and
Yeah.
everything that's coming up. And yeah,
And for Valentine's, give us what your best. I would say, if you're following us, put a little comment of the best Valentine's Day either gift or day that you had, because it doesn't necessarily have to be
Yes.
materialistic, right?
Yes.
It could be something super special that, somebody just went out of their way and it was just more like meaningful. I don't know. But we would love to hear it. Maybe we get ideas for 2024 Valentine's. And again, it doesn't have to be only Valentine's. Maybe ideas
for everything else.
for everything. Yeah.
All right. Well, it was so awesome, Monica. I'm so excited we're doing this.
Yes.
Sending you all our love. Have a beautiful, beautiful week, and we'll see you next time at Mama's
Playground.